Virtus pushing to finalize a deal for FS forward Achille Polonara?
Because Singleton is signing with FS.
Yeah, but
Now we're waiting Kruno Simon to come back from the retirement. And James Anderson also.
James
returned
Anderson.
from Murcia.
Who else is missing?
Shanley?
Shanley. That's a tough case.
But last year...
He's too young. If they're signing Singleton and Simon and Anderson, then Shanley is too young.
No, it's more about bringing all this group back. It's like there was some Hollywood movie with all these old stars like Stallone, Van Damme, like 10 guys from that 80s, 90s, 2000s era. For sure, we'll discuss what happened with Zvezda, the sanctions they received, and what we can expect next. This is Q&A or bonus episode, guys. The entire episode will be available only for BN Plus members that you can become going to basketnews.com/plus. There are 3 different subscription levels, and let's give credit to those who are on All-Star or GM subscriptions. So shout out to Paulius Tinteris, Hoofman, Kristers Pukitis, Gabrielius Serva, and Audition 11. And by the way, finally, we got some questions. I had an interview with Kostas Antetokounmpo yesterday, and as usually we do on BN Plus members group on Facebook and WhatsApp, I asked to address some questions to those who I am interviewing, whether it was Trinchieri, Kostas Antetokounmpo, Ritudis. So finally I received some questions. These were good questions, and both of them were asked during the interview. The interview will be published the following week, probably. So if the next time you want to address your question, or you want to have this ability to address the questions to the EuroLeague stars, just join our community, Basket News Plus, and you will find the links and the information in the description below this video, I guess. So yeah, the other viewers will see just some parts of this pod, but I really recommend trying to get the full podcast, because I believe that we will cover some interesting topics, including Red Star, Panathinaikos, and then Fenerbahce stuff. So let's begin, and let's begin with our reactions towards the decision by the EuroLeague that was made. And okay, it was the decision by the EuroLeague Finance Panel, which is the independent body. But the decision was that Zvezda was banned to register new players and coaches until February 28th, which means that they will have only one day to register Facundo Campazzo before the deadline, which is March 1st. And they were fined by 25,000 euros, but I mean, this amount doesn't mean anything. Tell me, honestly, were you surprised how severe the sanctions were? Because I thought, and when I was trying to cover this story a couple of days ago, it felt like, even the EuroLeague was prepared to see Campazzo in the double round week. He was completely doubtful for the game against Valencia this week, but I felt that there was a feeling that, next week he's joining the club and he will be there for the double round week.
I mean, I don't have any idea how the financial fair play rules work in EuroLeague or anything. What is the actual proof about Zvezda's financial struggles or commitments that they didn't deliver? So I don't have any papers. I don't have any statements, financial statements. There's not much to comment unless just it's whether you trust what's that panel?
Finance panel.
Yeah, EuroLeague's independent finance panel, or you don't. Either you think it's some sort of attack towards Zvezda, or you think it's just like a decision made based on evidence and that's it, and they were not following some rules. But we don't know those rules. We don't know how the financial fair play works in EuroLeague. I think it's pretty hard to comment or have an opinion on it. Am I surprised? Probably yes, because I really thought that in European basketball there are no rules you couldn't overcome. But apparently Zvezda hit some sort of an iceberg and they cannot move forward. But well, we'll see what happens. The decision is they cannot register him until February 28th.
For 9 more EuroLeague games, basically.
Obviously, they can still appeal this decision.
They have already done it, right?
They will do it if Marshall Glickman won't use the amnesty, because him as the CAO, he has the power to use the amnesty and lift the ban. If he thinks that
veto the ban.
Yeah, if he thinks that the punishment was too severe, he can make this decision.
That seems like some
from what I'm hearing,
middle-age rules, you know.
Kind of from what I'm hearing, Zvezda is still waiting. Of course, they're not willing to wait a lot of time because the time costs them Campazzo playing in ALBA League only, and just putting too much money for ALBA League games.
It costs them games, like wins
exactly.
in the EuroLeague.
Exactly. So if Marshall Glickman won't use the amnesty, for sure the decision will be appealed before the court of arbitration for sport.
Is this a conspiracy against Zvezda, or is this a fair punishment?
From what I've heard, both Campazzo and the club they discussed it with the EuroLeague people, and from what I've heard, they were kind of sure that the ban will be lifted. And Campazzo will play for Zvezda in the EuroLeague, although the ban was already imposed on the club. And if they didn't have, I would say, a word about that, Campazzo wouldn't have signed in Red Star. Because let's agree, it's a very risky move for a player, for such a caliber player, to join the club which already has the ban. Because you never know what kind of decision it could be. Probably nobody expected that the sanctions will be so severe.
But if Zvezda, if the ban is not lifted, that could be the reason for a player to terminate his contract and be a free agent again.
That's a good question. That's a good question. The good thing is that he still has this flexibility. He wasn't registered for Zvezda in the EuroLeague, so different from Polonara or somebody else, there's no deadline for him until January 9th to change the team. So he will be still able to sign a contract with any other EuroLeague club until March 1st. But I don't hear yet that Campazzo or his camp there are indications that he might be considering those moves. Let's go with other questions. Yanis Palamas has the question. Let's say one of you is Pau's GM. Would you replace Radonjic, and with whom?
But, I mean, Giannakopoulos backed him
twice. If you remember, he even preferred him over Lasso. And then when nobody expected that, because even that during that day when the meeting happened, I was already getting messages, oh, you should check what's happening in Panathinaikos because it seems like Radonjic is out. And from what I heard, I mean, Radonjic wouldn't be surprised if after the Olympiacos game, he would get call from Giannakopoulos saying, your job, your mission in Athens is over.
This, unlimited amount of money and, you can do whatever you want from Giannakopoulos to Radonjic is also in some sort of way a saying that Radonjic can, bench players he doesn't like what are they doing on the court, because in my eyes, like, Radonjic is not similar or is not the same that was in Zvezda last year, because like his style, and I read this comment from our last pod on Monday. Like, only thing I wouldn't completely agree is that that coach is innocent here. Like, I'm a Red Star fan. I watched all Panathinaikos game this year because of him, but he did very little to discipline Bacon and others for their behavior or mistakes. Like, in the past, he had no issues. He's saying Radonjic had no issues to bench the player. But like this season, to me, he seems a little bit, hesitant to, let a player know he's doing bad or he's doing something that Radonjic doesn't like, that doesn't fit Radonic's style.
And that's where the next question comes by Aku1167. Since there are so many negatives to talk about with Pau, how about talking about some solutions moving forward with the team? This season is damage control, I believe, but who would you guys keep or get rid of? Any trades that are worth making? And let's say you can have 3-4 moves to improve the team
right now, and then in the summer.
Right now,
there's the good comment by the same guy who mentioned this Radonjic idea of playing time and benching players. He said, like, Austin Holland seems like a no-brainer for this season. He's struggling in Maccabi, And to me, that makes perfect sense. You can only agree with this idea, defensive-minded player who brings energy. And then, as Rita said, there's not many that high-quality players to sign right now that can make Pau, I don't know, a playoff team or, to achieve something. So I looked at their roster, maybe more for the next summer, some changes they could make. Kostas Antetokounmpo for next season as a backup center, to me, makes a lot of sense. I wouldn't keep their two main players that they have right now. I would keep Ponitka, keep Lee as a backup. I would sign a high caliber point guard that is kind of, a scoring guard as well. So Jalen Smith, Marcus Howard, big money, Chris Jones. Three names that come to my mind. Nigel Williams-Goss as well. And I would bring in Mario Hezonja at the 3.
Okay.
I don't think he is that happy with his role in Real Madrid. That's a complete guess, but I think he likes being the number one guy. He likes being the number one or number two
cornerstone
guy
of the team. Yeah.
Yeah, you could say the franchise player in Europe. So, or I would try to get Vladimir Lucic if that's possible at the
Probably
3.
not. He's under 2025 contract.
Does he have how much money is he getting in Bayern approximately?